Does India have enough quality fast bowlers to win the 2025 World Cup?
The Indian team is surely in search of the next fast bowler and a group of fast bowlers who can take wickets for the Indian team at the World Cup. But let's not forget the pioneer of fast bowling in India, one of the best in the world and of all time. An international career that spanned 20 years and was the second longest international career in women's cricket. Of course, I'm talking about Jhulan Goswami. Now, before we talk about her career and then the Indian team of the present, hit that subscribe button.
Along with Mithali Raj, Jhulan Goswami is one of the most celebrated women cricketers to come out of Indian cricket. And her records also speak for why she is so highly celebrated. Jhulan has picked up 355 wickets across formats in international cricket, and this is the highest ever by any women cricketer. Not only that, she's also the leading wicket taker in ODI cricket, and by some margin. She's picked up 255 wickets in ODI cricket. Not only that, but for the span in which she played cricket for the 20 years that she was featuring in international cricket, she's by far the highest wicket taker in WODIs. And Jhulan's also someone who regularly stepped up in crunch situations and in critical games, and this is reflective in her World Cup record where she's picked up 43 wickets in World Cups for India. An interesting stat is also the fact that she's only gone for 6 runs or more per over in just 6 games that she's played in ODI cricket, and in 47% of the ODI innings in which she's bowled, she's conceded less than 3 runs per over. She's picked up 4 or more wickets in WODIs on 9 instances, making her the Indian with the most number of 4 or more wicket hauls in WODIs and third all time in the world.
Of course, in the span of 20 years, she would obviously have a lot of top performances, but there are some that notably stand out than the others. The first World Cup where Jhulan Goswami played for the Indian team, we also reached the final, but in the penultimate group stage game against the West Indies, she got a 4 for 16. In another historic win against England in 2005, where India beat England 5-0, in the fourth ODI, England got all out for 50, where Jhulan Goswami got 5 wickets for just 16 runs. Evidently, Jhulan was part of many firsts, where India beat England in a test series, where in the second test match, Jhulan Goswami got a 5-wicket haul in both innings. She got 5 for 33 and 5 for 45 respectively. That's 10 wickets in a match. For what seems like most of her career, where Jhulan Goswami was the only performer with the ball, her best figures in WODI 6 for 31 came against the New Zealanders, where India did go on to lose the game, but they only got 8 wickets off the New Zealand batters, out of which Jhulan Goswami got 6 of them. What continues to be a lone show with the bowling for the Indian team, Jhulan Goswami saved India with an embarrassment of 5-0 series loss against Australia by taking 5 for 11 in a T20 game.
What we've established here is how good Jhulan Goswami was for the Indian team and just her sheer amazingness in the records that she's been able to break through her career. From here, it is also important that we get into Jhulan Goswami's technique and break it down. But before that, it is important to establish fast bowling technique in general and what the differences are between males and females who are looking to bowl fast. Now, for a fast bowler, there are few key aspects to keep in mind to be able to come on the crease and bowl fast. The first thing, of course, is the fast bowler's height. In general, you'll see that tall fast bowlers are the ones who tend to achieve a higher ball release speed. The simple logic is that the taller a fast bowler is, the longer their hands generally are, which means that their arm is able to contribute to an increase in the angular velocity during release of the delivery. This means that the longer the arm of the fast bowler, it is more likely for them to be able to exert more force at the point of release.
The next 2 key points to keep in mind while being a fast bowler is your run-up speed and the front knee angle. Now, on average, there's a positive correlation with the speed of the ball versus the speed of the run-up, which basically means if you carry a lot more momentum, that is run fast during your run-up, you would generally be able to bowl quick. But all of this is also related to the angle of the front landing leg. Now, you can run as fast as you possibly can and be 7 feet tall, but if your front landing leg is not braced or not straight on landing, then all of this momentum is lost. So it is very important to make sure all of the momentum from the run up to your stride is carried on with that braced front leg to get the maximum momentum towards the ball.
The last but probably the most important thing for a fast bowler, especially if they're a woman, is the bowling shoulder angle. For women fast bowlers, this parameter is the most significant predictor of the ball release speed. And this is because the shoulder is the most important part for the women fast bowlers to be able to generate pace.
And this is where we come to the differences in fast bowlers between men and women. We do know that on average, the men fast bowlers are a lot more quicker than the women's, whereas the women fast bowlers do get a lot more swing than the men fast bowlers. And this is also proven by the fact that in 2023, across T20 games, men on average got a swing of about 0.5 degrees, whereas women got a swing of about 0.75 degrees, which is a 50% increase in the amount of swing women are getting. One of the major reasons for this is because the ball used in men's cricket is heavier and bigger, as there's a difference of about 23 grams in terms of the weight of the ball used in men's and women's.
Now, the difference that you see between fast bowlers in the men's and women's cricket is not only because of the ball, but also because of the biomechanics of how these people are built. Female fast bowlers typically generate a lot less momentum as compared to their male counterparts. This means that when they're running into ball, their approach towards the crease is generally a lot slower. And what this means is that they have to rely more on their shoulder as well as hip rotation to be able to generate pace. This is also evident because female cricketers take a lot more time in their delivery stride as compared to their male counterparts. And now what this does is it reduces the efficiency of the transfer of momentum from the run up to the delivery stride to the release.
Now, all of this is because of the difference in body composition that men and women cricketers have. Women on average have shorter legs and a lower muscle mass as compared to the men counterpart, which is also why they're not able to put the amount of force behind the ball as compared to the male counterparts. And all of this can also be a reason for why you see a lot of women fast bowlers get a lot more shoulder injuries than the men.
And this is where we come to Jhulan Goswami's technique and why she has been so successful as a fast bowler. Jhulan has all of the ingredients technically for a fast bowler to be successful. If you look at Jhulan Goswami right from the time she takes her run up, the first thing that stands out is how tall she is. For a female cricketer to be 5'11" is a rarity, more so in Indian cricket, and this is the first point of difference between Jhulan Goswami and so many of the fast bowlers in Indian cricket and world cricket. Coming in from a height of 5'11", she has the height advantage not only through her run-up and delivery stride but also at the time of release because of how long her arms are. Now, Jhulan might not have the fastest run-up and approach to the crease, but where she makes up for it is in her delivery stride. Where she generates a lot of power is in her trademark high jump that we've known her to do for so many years during that delivery stride. Because of the fact that she jumps so high, she's able to get enough time and momentum to generate a lot of power for both of her arms to form a nice circular motion before release. Almost think of it as a catapult by the time she lands and is about to release the ball. Because of all that power she generates in her jump, at the time of release, she's able to absolutely whip the ball. And as soon as she lands, all of that power comes down through her non-bowling arm, that is the left arm, and then she completes her action with a beautiful follow-through, probably one of the best in world cricket. What essentially happens is that she's able to take all of the momentum through her entire run-up and delivery stride and transfer it beautifully through her left hip by the time her run-up is done.
Now, as a fast bowler to last for 20 years in the international circuit, she needs to continue with the trends of the modern game, because not only was she losing a lot of pace in her last phase of her career, but also because of how the run rate in women's cricket has increased over the years. For a bowler who could swing and seam the ball both ways, in 2021 she brought out the off-cutter. Now, this worked very well for her because for most of her career, this is a weapon that she did not have, and this was a surprise for a lot of batters in the international circuit. Now, as much as his off-cutter was subtle and hidden behind the wrists, what made her off-cutter so different than the other fast bowlers was the power behind the ball she used to put. Because of everything that we covered in terms of Jhulan Goswami's action and her stride, the amount of revs she was able to put behind the ball was a lot more than the other fast bowlers. Because of this, even in conditions that didn't help a lot of spinners, she would still be able to get a lot of grip off the surface with this ball.
Now that of course is the story of Jhulan Goswami. She's been one of the main pioneers for fast bowling in India. She's only one of 3 fast bowlers featuring in the top 10 highest wicket takers for India. And beyond that, the effect that she's had on the next generation of fast bowlers is clearly evident. We see so many fast bowlers in the Indian women's circuit right now. The likes of Renuka Singh Thakur, Pooja Vastrakar, Arundhati Reddy are just some of the names that are coming through, and we also have so many promising youngsters in the likes of Titas Sadhu, Sayali Sadgare and Kranti Gaud. And for Indian women's cricket, this is also a good sign because of the direction in which these fast bowlers as well as multidimensional cricketers are coming up. Mithali Raj, in a column that she wrote for the ICC, has talked about how the next couple of big things that will be there for Indian women's cricket and for its growth is that it would require more multidimensional players and also more fast bowlers.
Surely there are other fast bowlers in the Indian circuit who are performing for the Indian team, but one youngster in particular who will be someone to watch out for and might possibly be the next big thing is Titas Sadhu. She rose to prominence in the Under-19 World Cup played in 2023 in South Africa, where in the finals against England, she bowled 4 overs, gave away only 6 runs and took 2 wickets. Her characteristics are very similar to Jhulan Goswami. She has good pace, is able to swing the ball both ways and seam the ball off the pitch. In her first international appearance, which was the Asian Games that the Indian team were a part of, in the semi-final she got a wicket for just 10 runs in 4 overs against Bangladesh. And she took that performance even further in the finals against the Sri Lankans, where she took 3 wickets, giving away just 6 runs once again in her 4 overs. From there, she's gone on to play 12 T20s for the Indian team, taking 13 wickets with an average of just 19. She also earned a maiden ODI call-up in December 2024.
But of course, all has not been merry for this 20-year-old who's already gone through a couple of back injuries. Titas Sadhu took a major hit after she was sidelined because of a back injury after India's series against Bangladesh in May 2024. This was the injury that had kept her out from May all the way up till December for a period of 6 months, and since her return, she hasn't been the same bowler. Reports have talked about how Titas, ever since her return from that injury in December, struggled to pick up wickets regularly, and it seemed like she was trying extra hard because she was spraying the ball all over the place. Not only that, she eventually made her comeback yet again in the WPL of 2025, and even there, after playing a few games, she was sidelined from the Indian squad that is going to be featuring in the Tri-Series that is due to happen in a couple of weeks' time. Once again, the reason for this was another back injury. What is a positive amongst all of this, however, is that Titas Sadhu is being mentored by Jhulan Goswami, who she's been working with closely ever since she was the age of 13. What also helps is that Titas Sadhu plays for Bengal, the same state that Jhulan Goswami hails from, and just considering the fact that she is very similar to how Jhulan Goswami is, and the fact that she is only 20 and has the guidance of someone like a Jhulan, means that if she keeps her head in the right place and is able to be injury free in the long term, then she is going to be a good prospect for Indian cricket.
Now, it's not just the players, but there has been a discussion on the team selection and the way the fast bowlers have been rotated in the Indian team. Now, if you want a video on the ODI team and how we're going to do heading into the World Cup, comment down below. This has been our video on Jhulan Goswami and the next crop of fast bowlers in the Indian team. If you've enjoyed this video, like, share and subscribe, all that good stuff. All of our links are in the description below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter. If you haven't followed us on our WhatsApp channel, do that too. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.